Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Josh and today I'm going to be talking about a lens that we have all been waiting for the longest time, and that is a lens that completes the quartet of 1.8 primes from Panasonic. That is the 35mm f1.8 by Panasonic. Whee! Focus on me. There we are. Yay. So of course, as most of us expected, the 35mm 1.8 actually shares the exact same build characteristics as its three brothers that have already been announced. So it's got the same size, of course, like the same form factor and stuff, and the same 65mm filter thread. The only difference, of course, is that on the side of this lens, it says 35. Of course, I'm a massive fan that it's a compact size just like the other three, because it means that if you are someone that shoots on a gimbal a lot, you won't need to go in and rebalance every time you want to chuck on a new lens onto your camera. So this is definitely a great feature. And to be honest, the form factor of these little lenses is so good, and especially for the quality that you're getting out of them. So before we get too deep into this video, let's just quickly touch up on the price of this lens, since I'm sure this is a topic that a lot of you are going to care about. So here in the UK, the 35mm f1.8 is going to retail for around £579, and I'm guessing that's around $629 in the US. I'll leave it up on the screen here if I did get that wrong. But yeah, so you're looking at the sort of like £600 mark, I'd say, or just a little bit under that. So I priced it sort of just between the 50mm and the 24mm, and to be honest, I'm not surprised by this. Normally the 35 1.8 in any sort of ecosystem is slightly more expensive than the nifty 50, given that it's a little bit more specialist than the 50mm. But yeah, so I think price-wise, it's actually priced pretty reasonably. So before I start blabbing on about how much I absolutely love this lens, I'm gonna chuck some photo and video examples up on the screen right now, so that whilst I'm talking about this lens, you don't have to look at my ugly face, and instead you can actually enjoy the image quality coming out of this thing. So, here we go. Just like the other lenses previously announced in this little quartet, the 35mm 1.8 definitely does not disappoint in terms of image quality and sharpness. I found the images to be sharp from 1.8 all the way through to sort of f4 to f5.6, and of course when you close it down it does get extremely sharp, but even at 1.8 the center sharpness is absolutely fantastic, and the roll-off you get between your subject and the background is really, really nice. Of course, being a 1.8 lens, it means that it's absolutely fantastic in low light situations. So if you are someone that finds yourself needing that little bit more light, then 1.8 is going to do you just fine. And of course, on the full frame sensor, you're going to have a whale of a time when it comes to that shallow depth of field. In terms of the autofocus, I'd say that I'm actually really impressed with this lens. For photo mode, it's very quick and snappy. It locks focus literally as soon as you point it at whatever you want to focus on, so that's really nice. And for video, I think it's really good as well, so no slouch in that department. All the sample videos you're seeing right now have actually been filmed using the autofocus, and I wasn't manual focusing at all whilst using this lens. And yeah, I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's absolutely great and really does the job, so no complaints there. The 35mm focal length as well is an absolute joy to use. It's actually one of my favorite focal lengths to use, purely because it sits somewhere nicely between 24 and 50 and gives you sort of the best of both worlds in quite a lot of cases. Since 35 isn't as tight as 50mm, it means that you can get some nice wider establishing shots, but it also means that you can get quite close to your subject without distorting too much, and it makes it an absolute killer lens for walk around street photography and I guess just journalistic sort of filmmaking as well. To be honest, if I was to use any prime and just keep it on my camera body at any given time, I say that 35mm is probably where I'd sit. So overall, I don't really have any complaints with this lens. I mean, I'm extremely happy with the image quality coming out of this thing. I think that the colors look really nice, the bokeh is really pleasing. The 35mm focal length for me is just an absolute winner for a lot of use cases, and I do think that if you are someone that's looking to invest in this lens, you're going to be a very happy camper indeed. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining, useful, or interesting, and if you did, then please consider subscribing because it helps me out massively. And I do make a lot of content here on this channel about the Panasonic L-mount cameras and the full frame lineup that they have. So if that's something that you're into, then this channel will definitely be for you. So yeah, hopefully I shall see you in their next one. Thank you.